Well, pretty much the reason why we dairy farm and why we make cheese is because we enjoy good food, and we think that all of our neighbors and our friends and the general public deserves to have good food also.
We have, I guess, quintessential as far as the family farm goes.
You gotta take care of the cows and you gotta feed them. You gotta keep everything clean.
We have cows, we milk them and make cheese out of their milk.
It's all of us that do all the labor. We have a more sustainable way of farming because we have the right number of livestock for the right amount of acreage. You know, we take all of the animal byproducts, all the manure, and put it right back onto growing all the feed and everything that we use right here on the farm.
One day's worth of milk is 100 gallons, and we get about $90 for that. I can take that same 100 gallons of milk, turn it into about 120 pounds of cheese, and sell each of those pounds of cheese for about I hope I can sell it for anyway, $7 or $8 a pound. So for one of those small wheels, I can get as much as I do for that entire vat of milk.
Used to be a dairy. Around every curve was a farm with a dairy. There's none anymore, just not any.
But what you look at now is, you know, the milk sells in the store for like $3.99 a gallon, somewhere around that here, and we get like 82 cents. You know, it used to be up until how many years ago, like 10, 12 years ago, that the producer got 50% of what the retail price was. And, you know, that's far from true now. That's why you see so many dairy farms either getting bigger and being owned by conglomerates that control the major part of the milk supply in the U.S., or just phasing out of business.
I moved here in 1947. I had married Nick's grandfather in 46, right after the Second World War. And we lived here, and well, my husband was killed in a farm accident here in 94.
Well, he got killed. He rolled a tractor over on himself when he was spreading lime. It's kind of a shock, but. Yeah, I was born and raised here. I lived right at the end of the road. I kind of hated to see that someone else take it over and start farming it.
We kind of hobby farmed while Nick was working at General Mills, and then when they laid him, or they displaced him.
Yeah, I was displaced for that, which was a polite euphemism for we're going to find the engineering firm from India to do the job that you was doing, which is, you know, cool.
They gave him a severance package, and it kind of gave us a catalyst to jump into something else.
Kind of run and start at farming.
Nick gets up a little bit before 5, comes out and gets things ready to milk. I get the boys up for school. Feed them breakfast. I try to get I normally can get Lila to sleep through all that. And then on cheese making days, I come out at 5 with Nick, get the milk unloaded, do my antibiotic residue testing. I spend a lot of time back and forth between the milk house for the first, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours. And I spend a good portion of my day just feeding this child. It seems like some days it's all I get done.
I'd like to see this cheese business go. And I'm sure that Nick's grandfather would be pleased.
Whenever I'm here milking, you know, a lot of times I'll think about, you know, whenever I was 4 or 5 years old or 6, you know, I was running around out here playing, and the way my grandfather would do this or the way my uncle did this adds a lot more depth to the whole experience, you know. It's kind of like you're walking around with all these different ghosts every day.
I'd like to take over the whole business someday, make cheese. I really like living here. I'd like to live here one day in my future.
The thing that keeps me going is you know, a lot of people, like the sort of like the A-team, they didn't have a backup plan. They have one plan and that's it. You know, I don't have something to fall back on. I'm not going to back up and say, well, you know, if that didn't work out, I think I'll pursue this other avenue. This is it. You know, this is where we're making our stand, and this is where we're going to be a success. And whatever level of perseverance or motivation it's going to require to get there, I think that me and Celeste and the rest of our family is more than capable of it and willing to do such.
Tired, but it's time to take a stand.